GM acknowledged late last night that it knew about a defective ignition switch back in 2001, but continued to build cars with the part for years. Now, 12 deaths are linked to the defect. GM is recalling more than 1.5 million vehicles, and Jeff Glor has today's developments.
Let me start by asking you about the GM recall.
On Capitol Hill today, the recall was the first order of business in the Senate.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Secretary of Transportation Anthony Foxx was asked why the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, investigated problems with some of the GM cars in question 3 times, but never demanded a fix.
In this case, the 3 crash investigations that were done were inconclusive. Now, as we learn more information, we may learn that our process for reviewing situations such as this need to be improved.
In an updated letter filed with regulators, GM now says they knew about an issue with ignition switches in 2001 in Saturn Ions. Yet a comparable ignition cylinder was put on Chevy Cobalts and other cars starting in 2004. A service bulletin was issued to dealers in 2005 saying a heavy keyring or jarring can turn the engine off, which disables the airbags. NHTSA had access to that, but no recalls were ordered. Clarence Ditlow runs the consumer watchdog group, the Center for Auto Safety.
There's been a complete failure of the recall system, both on the part of General Motors and the federal government, and we absolutely have to fix that.
Today, Ditlow sent this letter to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, and enclosed this chart. It shows the number of deaths when airbags did not deploy in Saturn Ions and Chevy Cobalts between 2003 and 2012, as many as 47 in 2010. Ditlow says, based on this chart, the only way NHTSA could not see a defect trend is if it closed its eyes.
The airbag is the last line of defense in a crash, and it should never fail.
GM so far has acknowledged 12 fatalities linked to the defect, including, we've now learned, this Chevy Cobalt accident which killed a 13-year-old girl and her grandmother in Pennsylvania in 2009. A 1-year-old boy was paralyzed from the waist down.
We just got a response from NHTSA about that letter filed today. Quote, the data available to NHTSA at the time did not contain sufficient evidence of a possible safety defect trend, they say. New information provided by GM has prompted NHTSA to launch an aggressive investigation. Scott?
And we want folks to know that all of the cars being recalled can be seen on CBSnews.com for a complete list. Thank you very much, Jeff.